Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister,
Hello.
Cinders,
Hello.
and Sanswinda.
Hey.
Good day, everyone, and it is time for you know what we're going to be getting for more discussion on Ball Rower, right?
I was gonna say it's gotta be Bull Roar because I spent like a day and a half on Bull Roar.
And she has thoughts.
All right, we'll see what they are in a
Red.
moment. First off, we had Bower. Bower was open actually from Monday through Friday, so it was a rather extensive Bower update. This is the latest. This is Bower number 4 for update 45, allies and adversaries, where they were still doing background testing relating to the kinship refresh, making sure that everything is right in there, and continuing along with their testing of the Etmores with all the quests that are in there, plus continuing on with the class updates.
Yep.
But here are some noted changes that they had in there is that for festivals and events, all events associated with the hardtack event will now fail upon logout. So apparently some people are probably taking advantage of it, acting in a different way, I guess.
It was bugging something.
Yep. For classes and skills, for Guardians, the Keen Blade trait Protection by the Sword now provides Fellowship and Raid members within 10 meters of the Guardian with a boost to parry rating, partial parry chance, and damage every 10 seconds. The Guardian receives a boost to their skill damage, parry rating, and partial parry chance. The aura has been removed. So, it provides the Fellowship and Raid members within 10 meters with a boost to that, but an aura has been removed. Isn't providing a bonus to everyone within 10 meters an aura? So what does that mean, Cinders?
It could just mean that the visual effect is being removed.
Okay.
Would be my guess. I haven't tried it out.
Okay. The Keen Blade trait, Prey on the Weak, it will now trigger on each skill played on the target with an active bleed applied by the Guardian. Yes.
I do want to know, I don't generally play in the Keen Blade trait line, so some of these things I'm just not very familiar with.
Okay, I guess
Asterisk.
that makes... I suppose that you have a point with that matter. And all Guardian bleeds applied by skills now have matching iconography.
Because that's 100% what we needed. You know, not the bleeds actually doing decent damage. But we did need that picture to match. They gotta go together, guys.
Cinders, this is part of kind of like an ancient tradition. What it used to be in the old days when you're driving your car around and you heard your car was having some kind of mechanical problem, you just simply turned your stereo up until you couldn't hear the problem anymore, and voila, it was gone. So the iconography is the equivalent of of doing that. It doesn't work like it should, you guys, and everybody hates it. But hey, look at this pretty picture.
It's the picture's fault.
That's right. Everyone blame the picture.
Right. Yes. Now, I believe I play Keen Blade, but since I've only really done it solo, anything that has to do with how it interacts with groups is a little bit, let's say, I don't understand all that well. So I think it sounds like the line that I'm playing, but since they're talking about with a group, it went over my head also. Yes.
Okay, so I've looked it up in its current format.
All right.
So it says that it currently boosts damage of your fellowship and enables you to react to an attack that's blocked or parried by an ally if they're within 20 meters. You enhance your allies, improving their melee damage. The aura affects fellowship members within 20 meters. If you parry or block an attack, the guardian protecting you will be able to react. And it gives a plus 3% damage bonus for 10 seconds. So going back to what that says that they've changed it, it looks like they've reduced the distance, and instead of the guardian being able to react to it, the guardian also receives a matching boost, so it's not more of a generalized effect that anybody can trigger. That makes sense?
Not really, but we'll go on. I suppose I just haven't played my guardian in groups enough in order to quite follow. All right. Well, let's head into the hunter. For the hunter, for Cry of the Hunter, bubble potency has been increased to 15% of your maximum round. Bubble duration has been reduced from 30 seconds to 7 seconds.
Yep.
Right. And for the Huntsman, because Blue Line has no inductions by default, Volley's effect has been replaced by Focus Spenders, gives you a plus range damage buff 2 to 10%. This effect can stack up to 3 times, but will be removed by using a range focus builder skill.
Yep.
Okay, and for the Bowmaster, plus 30% Heartseeker damage.
Yep.
Okay.
That sounds good. Is that good?
For long shot, with 2 ranks of long shot, it's now a 1 second induction and a 7 second cooldown.
Yep.
All right. And for Trapper of Foes, suppressing strings. The skill focus or combat focus will make your next focus spender skill apply weakness to your targets. Weakness will apply times 0.9 outgoing damage for 30 seconds.
Untested, but probably working.
Okay. And as for combat focus, 1 rank, focus would become usable in combat, granting 9 focus. It will have 3 seconds induction with a 30-second cooldown. Combat focus would not grant you plus damage critical buff of improvement focus.
That is accurate, and trying to actually get it to finish its induction while in combat is almost impossible. Unless you're fighting ranged. I did try that part. I just never successfully... Well, okay, no. I didn't get it off in combat.
You never got it off in combat. Okay. So, 3 seconds is a pretty long time in combat. Especially in solo.
I feel like they've made it a little bit better this last time, but it's still hard to get the induction off.
All right. The Black Arrow, 5 ranks. This trait grants an incoming healing debuff to Bard's Arrow. Potency and duration doubled against targets below 50% health. 3 to 15% or 6 to 30% incoming healing reduction, and 10 seconds, 20 second duration. The numbers in parentheses, I will presume, are...
As you rank it up.
Oh, as you rank it up. So, I mean, they're starting by giving you the minimum and then the maximum after that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And Hunter of Legend passively reduces the induction of combat focus by 2 seconds and its cooldown by 10 seconds.
And that is the part that made it easier to like get it almost all the way off.
Okay.
So combat focus, while traded yellow, was going off faster. And if your foes were ranged or managed to be actually stunned, it might work in combat. Where I noticed it, though, the speed of it, and thought, oh, this has potential, is out of combat, like setting up for a fight.
Right. But the focus prep skills have always been useful in outside of a fight, haven't they been?
Well, yes, but instead of taking a full 3 seconds to set up the fight, it only took 1.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
It was significantly faster and easier to get set up, and I could see, like, in a group setting, that being pretty useful as a skill.
Yes. So therefore,
I didn't actually spend a whole lot of time running out of focus this round on Bulver, regardless of line I was running in. So
okay.
The clunkiness of that was greatly diminished, and or the damage was actually doing what it was supposed to do.
All right. So it sounds like then that you're thinking this Bulver was better than the one last week. Because I know last week you were feeling pain.
This Bulver was significantly more polished. The biggest pain point, like, I still have some minor quibbles with taking away my 5 meters of range and 5 run speed from me on blue line. Like, that just seems annoying. But like, the melee skills were actually doing more of what they're supposed to be doing according to the patch notes, and it operated a lot more like a yellow roomkeeper, so that when mobs did inevitably get too close and you used the melee skills that they gave you, they were actually doing something, which was nice.
Okay.
The red line was putting out good damage. I even made some other alts to test it and gave them all the same tier gear, same virtues, well, for their class, but like the same level of virtues, same, like, just basic stuff, and then ran DPS tests on them, and the Red Hunter came out just slightly, like, basically neck and neck with the champion and the Red Runekeeper.
Okay.
It was slightly more, but I think that's probably more because I'm more familiar with the rotation than it being a significant actual increase, like, above them. But they all did, over the 3 minutes, well over 5 million damage to the target without additional buffs and without, like, perfect rotations or anything like that. Definitely not perfect armor. I just did the quest armor from the Ikrabani vendor. So, I was feeling pretty good about that. Yellow line was still a slog trying to get through the tier 7 delve a cut above. The problem, like, the first day that I was on Bullroar, it actually went all right. But then when I ran it again, after the delvings changed, like, what they were doing, I realized that the problems that I had been having before were all still there. So the exploding dummy, like, when you throw it out, the decoy, it gets their attention. But if you're in one of the delvings where they get a damage buff and they actually kill your decoy that they gave significantly reduced morale to, it just disappears. It does not explode. It does no damage. It does not stun anybody. It Like, and it disappears really fast if they've got a damage buff. So earlier in the week, it was managing to last until it exploded, which was a significantly shorter time than it is currently on live. And I got through without too much. I mean, like, it was a little bit annoying, but it wasn't super hard. Later in the week, with a slightly better buffed character, I couldn't get all the way through it in yellow line. And that was partially because I stopped trying after 30 minutes of trying to get through it. I was like, this is just annoying. But the decoy was completely useless. You could throw it out, it would get one ping on the mob to make it turn towards it. The melee mob would swing its sword at it, and it would just disappear. Not even so much as a whimper. Just poof, gone. No explosion, no help, nothing.
That's right. I can almost hear the dummy saying it. It's just like, hey, wait a second. This guy's hitting really hard. I'm sorry. I didn't sign up for this.
Right? It's like, I'm out of here. Like, I know you think you filled me with explosives, but these explosives do not detonate when hit.
This is just candy.
Yeah, turns out the decoy is like, nope, the hunter you were looking for is right there. Bye.
That's right. Actually, that would be hysterical if it debuffed you right before it disappeared. It's her.
Okay.
The decoy is like,
It felt
peace, yo.
it felt like it should, like, it could be as sassy as the training dummies. That would be funny. Anyway, I did submit a bug report just in case that's actually not working as intended. Because I've been having that problem like the last 2 times I've been on full road now. So, but beyond that, everything else seemed to be actually connected and working relatively smoothly. So, like, it's not eating the trait points anymore. It is putting out enough damage to, in general, kill foes in any of the 3 lines. But if you run only yellow line, you might hope for better explosions and or avoid tier 7 delving solo for a while. If it goes live like this.
Well, I've been avoiding tier 7 delvings anyway, so...
I mean, and if your goal is just to do them on a hunter, you can do them in the other lines, and it's not a huge problem.
Okay.
So, it's a much more polished build, and actually looks like it's going to be kind of fun when it goes live. One other thing, though. The new traceries are in-game, like in Bull Roar, and they seem to be working, like doing what the tooltip says that they're going to do. But on behalf of all hunters who've spent a lot of time putting legacies on their allies and like leveling them up and getting good legacies and all that good stuff, this is going to be painful if they don't refund our allies or something. Because, like, the ally traits that I'm running on my allies right now are no longer possible combinations with the changes that they're making. Like, I'm running started in blue line and traded over for Heartseeker and Burn Hot on red line. But now those two traceries would be useless if I'm running blue line. But if I'm going to change and run red line so that I can raid and stuff, then my blue line ones become useless. And so I think this is going to affect hunters and maybe make it extra challenging to convince them that this is a good thing.
Well, yeah, but at least if you replace the tracery, they'll be at the level that the old tracery was. So,
well, yes, but like you have to have the components to get a new tracery.
Well, yes, there's a the matter of having enough script.
And if you
to
have
get it.
broken traceries while trying to get a new tracery, that's going to be harder.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's any facility for refunding traceries. That's
Well, I mean, I don't know either, but they could give us all like We Love Hunters gift box or something.
Oh, it's filled with Matham armor.
No, but seriously, like I don't think probably most people are going to have to change out their whole allies, but I think probably most people are going to need to change a few of their legacies, and if we just got a few like of the Cactumbari traceries and a coffer of script or a quest that we could turn in if we had grievances or something, I don't know. Yeah.
all right.
I'm annoyed with the LI system right now, though, in general. So,
apparently,
yeah, I might be the only one who's annoyed.
I loved our exploding decoy discussion because it gave me a new idea. I'm going to propose to SSG that they let you upgrade your exploding decoy into an untrustworthy exploding decoy. It does 50% more damage, but it has a 20% chance of turning on you and joining the enemy.
Okay, that would be funny, but more funny on Bull Roar than on live.
yes, yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine that though? If somebody decided to take that out onto like player versus monster player,
I would think that if they actually did that and posted it, that you could actually see their forums physically light on fire. Somehow they managed to light they'd actually light up. So don't join this website; it'll burn your computer.
It'd be an awesome April Fool's option.
I just love that. I'm sorry, my weird brain has gone to town on this one. Yeah, I just envisioned you throwing it down, and the exploding decoy turned to you in horror and said, "I thought we were friends." It makes you feel bad right before it blows up. That would be. You said we'd be together forever.
Can you imagine if that happened and was live for like literally one day without anybody knowing about it on April
Maybe
Fool's?
like an April Fool's. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it comes out April 1st. Everybody's playing like normal, and all of a sudden, all of the decoys have turned on their yellow hunters. And
only sometimes.
Yeah, and they're like, what is going on? What is wrong with my decoy? Of course, customer service turns off the tickets because they know it's going to go back to normal the next day, right? And they're just like, it never happened.
What are you
it could be one of those like dev things like that they do sometimes at the gates or something. That would be fun.
We did have that one cool thing with oh man, I can't remember the dev's name now. But we were doing the chicken run, and one of the devs, I guess, saw us there, and suddenly there were I think there were maybe like 200 or 300 squirrels all of a sudden in the in the camp, and everybody's like, what's going on?
But those are like funny things that they can do to just bring a little
that didn't do any harm
to the game, and then take them away.
Right. So that's a bit of a summary of what sounds like is happening with the hunter. So let's have a look at the burglar and see what's going on that end. For the gambler, dealing done. Stealth and surprise strike will roll a random green, blue, or red tier 6 gamble. For Bob and Weave has moved from a gambler exclusive to a buyable trait in the gambler trait tree. Bob and Weave is no longer a random proc effect. Instead, it is now an active skill which grants combat stealth and a heal over time. For overwhelming odds, this trait is now viable in the trait tree in place of double down. Overwhelming odds no longer affects fellowship maneuver potency, 3 ranks, plus 5 to 20% chance to receive a critical response after successfully using a critical chain skill. That's with 3 ranks. Okay. Against all odds, 5 ranks. For each rank, plus 2% AoE damage. For High Roller, this effect of High Roller would no longer increase gamble applying skill damage. Instead, it would increase the duration of your high rolling gambles. At rank 4, plus 1 pulse. At 5, plus 2 pulses. At 6, plus 3 pulses. A sure thing no longer increases harmful gamble damage. Instead, Surprise Strike tears down an active gambler's advantage bleed on your target to deal bonus damage. Additional ranks increase the potency of this bonus damage. All in now reduces your gamble skill cooldowns to 0.5 seconds for its duration. As for a quiet knife, coup de grace will consume a well-placed bleed on the target to deal bonus damage. All right, and that's it for that. So Mischief Maker. Mischievous Diversion. Diversion because Mischievous Diversion, which is usable in combat, grants combat stealth 40-second cooldown. Trickster. Cooldown increases from 60 seconds to 120 seconds. For 10 seconds, all skills act as though you are stealthed, and you gain Aura, Trick Sanctuary, granting minus 50% attack duration, minus 15% incoming damage, and plus 10% movement speed to all allies within 12 meters of you. Okay, that sounds useful. And Appraising Eye, mischief only, a small snag will spread the reveal weakness debuff to a small area around the target if used on an enemy already suffering from the reveal weakness or a small snag debuffs. They made a note there that clever retort combination skills were not working properly in the latest build in there, so we can hope that's fixed before it goes live. All right, that's for the burglar then. Let's see, anything else? Any other changes in here? Oh, items and rewards. Adventurers Quartermasters now sell tomes of defense for embers. And for the Etmores, adjustments were made to Captain General Ari's patrol that should make him depart the field of battle when his attack is over. Removed a number of invisible walls from the new location in the elf camp as they were unnecessary. We addressed an issue with acquiring the keys to the towers of Lugazog and Tirithral. We addressed an issue with the chest of Lugazar and Tirithral for not spawning after the correct amount of time passed. Removed the tooltips on the map for the special item traders at their outposts. Etmore's rewards chests should no longer disappear or provide no loot to a second user. And Etmore's weekly rewards chest for monster players should no longer reward the monster player with items that they cannot use. Okay, that's always good. And also tweaking a translation for the Runekeeper attunement item note that has been updated. All right, and that is it for the Bull Roarer notes. Now, interestingly enough, Orion said on Thursday that they don't yet have a date for when they are releasing update 45. The following day, though, Cordovan says that they are shooting for, I believe, the 23rd. So my guess then is then they must have decided that on Friday morning, perhaps. They decided that 23rd is when they are going to attempt to get the release. It sounds like, though, that is a planned time at the moment. And of course, if things go really troublesome, they could always slip another week or so. And that's it for our update of 45 Borer number 4. So, any other comments upon Borer on this other than what Sans was talking about concerning the hunter?
I've said my piece.
Okay.
Borar is a lot of fun, and it's kind of hard to go back to the live servers sometimes. I was sad to leave my new characters behind.
It's like your character on the other server woke up. I had such a marvelous dream.
Right?
All right. For next story, please note that character creation on the 32-bit worlds will be closed at 9 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, July 30th to facilitate the closing of the 32-bit game worlds. Players can transfer their characters for free from the 32-bit game worlds to our 64-bit game worlds through August 31st, 2025. All right, there you go. So that's very, if you want to create a new character and there for some reason, you have to do it by July 30th. And note that is July 30th morning, meaning when the servers go down for the weekly maintenance on Wednesday, July 30th, when they come back up, you will no longer be able to create characters on the 32-bit servers. That's just in case you needed to create a bank character to facilitate your transferring over or anything like that. Because I certainly wouldn't recommend creating a serious character at this time on a 32-bit world. Since you're going to be transferring it soon anyway. All right, any comments on this? I guess that means no.
No.
All right. Orion answered PvP questions in his latest episode of the Cave Troll. In this case, Orion was doing it alone because his partner in crime was elsewhere this week. So we do have a link to the video where you could see the entire thing, or if you just want a summary, we also have a link to the summary of what was said there. And there are time notes on there, so if you wanted to skip to a particular item that you want to listen more carefully to, then you could use the time notes in the transcript. Or actually, it's not really a transcript, it's a summary. And speaking of Orion, we have a letter from Orion dated July 2025. Yes, this is our third letter from Orion this year. So this will cover the third quarter, what's going on. Hello from the Lord of the Rings team. We are halfway through 2025, and we hope that the year continues to treat you well, and that you have plans to enjoy the upcoming months and also visit Middle-earth throughout the summer. This third letter and update finds us in the midpoint of the development year, and we remain very excited about our plans for the future. Our 18th anniversary has come and gone, and we are swiftly moving towards the release of Update 45, Allies and Adversaries. Update 45 includes a number of changes specific to the monster play portion of the game. These changes are far-reaching and aim to alter the gameplay in the Entomores by providing a large number of fluid events that can influence and tip the scales of battle. We have added more mechanics in the form of rewards for taking and holding the towers of Lugazog and Tirithral, new relics, and buffs in a new area called the Underneaths, accessible by controlling a forward camp on the landscape of the Etmors, and new vendors with buffs available once you take control of the outpost. This is one of the largest changes made to the game play flow in the Etmors in several years. So, anyone want to comment on this?
I think I need to do some more playing PvMP before I have very many comments on that.
More playing PvMP under the old system, the current system, or the new system?
Probably a little bit of both, because the last time I did PvMP was after the last round of changes, and I kept trying to jump out through the cellar doors that weren't there anymore. So, regardless of how this goes, it's going to take some adjusting to. And before I really have any kind of comments one way or the other, I will definitely need to play some PvMP.
Okay. Update 45 also extends the birding hobby introduced last year further into the game world. New regions are available for bird watchers to practice their hobby, and new rewards are available to make your home more cozy. So new areas, because last time, if I remember correctly, they had added it to Gondor and Rohan and Rovanian, if I remember correctly. So does that mean birds are going to be flying into Umbar now?
If they don't get eaten by crocodiles first.
Wait, there's flying crocodiles?
No, I would presume.
Because that'd be kind of cool.
Well, sometimes they do end up at the top of trees. Sorry, Pine Leaf.
Well, yes, but remember that there are things like wading birds and other type of waterfowl that, well, let's just say if they're slow at taking wing when they spot a crocodile, then they could be a croc snack.
Do you think SSG has adequately addressed concerns about how many of these birds could carry a coconut?
I am sure that while it probably has crossed their mind, that they have decided that it will have no significant impact to the game.
Well, if that's the case, then how are we going to be able to get on our steeds? The coconut supply has to continue if we're going to be have mounted anything. You understand the importance of this,
that we get bird mounts, because I would be 100% in that favor of that.
Should be riding those eagles right now.
Okay, so yeah, because I just was trying to think of what species of bird is going to be large enough, I mean, other than
oh my goodness, the giant eagles.
And
the giant eagles could just carry
the rocks.
Each one of them could carry like a coconut tree in each one of their claws, so they'd be brilliant. They could help all the other birds. They'd be like a carrier for the coconuts,
Okay. Or maybe instead of the mount shrinking down and fitting in our pockets, we shrink down and fit in theirs.
Whoa. The implication of horses having pockets is beyond the scope of what I could accept in the fantasy world.
I mean, saddlebags are a thing.
Well, those are more purses.
So I'm pretty sure that the Warsteed effect with the hobbits that you can just hurl out of little bags.
You can hurl hobbits out of little bags? Oh, how do I get this one?
It was one of your ideas.
My idea was to mount a hobbit on my horse with, or like a series of hobbits, through using little papooses. I put a papoose on the front. There's a hobbit in the front. You put a papoose on each side. There's a hobbit on the side. I think you could just papoose one under too. So you have full coverage. You're on top. Then you've got hobbits covering all other angles. Maybe you have a hobbit on a kite flying behind you. They're over there.
Hobbit snacks up here. Sorry, totally off topic. Pine Leaf.
This is. I think sensibility has flown away.
I feel like Pine Leaf slowly backing up, making the sign of the cross.
Anyway,
No sudden movements. Don't make eye contact.
anyway, these new rewards, based on the image that's shown in the letter, it looks like that we are going to get some illustrations that we could post on our walls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, they're like drawings.
Yeah.
And they're really nice looking. I'd rather have them on my walls than the fish trophies. Or, orc heads or whatever those things are that you get and you can mount on your wall. I'm like, oof. No thanks.
We'll look like a division of the Ottoman society.
Mm-hmm.
You just get the wrong type of orc heads. They have the singing orc heads. Those will spice in your room up.
You will have to show me one.
All right.
Yeah, I think for you, they probably have one. I would assume that it would contain maybe most of, if not all, the Justin Bieber music library.
I highly doubt that they exist.
I'm just not making comments. I'm just distracting. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm filled with caffeine and strangeness. So.
Sadly, due to some unforeseen difficulties arising from the changes that we are making to the kinship system, we didn't need to push the release of the changes to the fishing hobby until update 47, expected in early 2026. We do, however, want to give you a little insight into the changes to fishing will be trap fishing. The idea is that you will be able to lay traps at waterways across the game world, leave them for a time, and return them to discover a massive catch. Now, I believe when I was talking to some people last week relating what they could be doing fishing, somebody suggested that maybe trap fishing would be a good idea, and I think I said, that sounds unlikely.
See, I would have thought spearfishing would be more likely, because you put all these traps out across Middle Earth, then you have to remember where the traps are, and you have to hope that nobody else raids your traps.
Right.
I mean, presumably, because it's Middle Earth, nobody else can even see your traps.
Well, yes, but then what happens when I go back and I'm like, I know that I put it here, and I'm like, around the bend from where I put them down, and then I can't ever find them again.
Well,
then you just keep trapping the waterways.
So pretty soon you have this whole chain of traps down every single waterway.
Or you pick one river and just completely cover it. I'm sure they'll have a set spot where you can place a trap, though, so you'll know that that's where you should go look for it.
Yeah. I could just imagine, though, if it were like Stardew Valley crab pots and you just...
Oh, yeah.
Some
that's what I was picturing. You just cover the whole shoreline.
But only you can see them.
Well, I mean, if everybody can see them, then everybody just stacks theirs on top, right?
Yeah, and then you just click and you can get your own. Okay, I think it's interesting to see how they implement it.
It might make more sense for them to put traps in the water and let us go through and bait them and collect from the ones that we baited.
Well, we'll see what they are planning.
Fair.
But yeah,
I think fishing nets on boats would be fun too, so.
Yes, but first they'll have to implement us being able to actually go onto boats.
That would be ideal, yes.
Yes.
I would settle for a boat that was stationary that we could just stand on top of, though.
Okay. We are pleased to announce that the first major kinship feature update coming to the game in some time will be in the release of a modifiable kinship calendar arriving between the release of update 45 and the expansion later this year. So I'm guessing then about 45.2 or something like that. This feature, long requested by the player base, will provide kinship leaders and those with proper privileges with the ability to create and maintain events with descriptions, sign-up lists, and much more. This is the first of many updates that we hope to make to the kinship system over the course of the next year and beyond. We will provide more details of this feature as it gets ready for a uh, fourth close up throughout the summer. So the question is whether permissions can be set for people outside the kin to be able to
sign up.
view. Like for example, let's say Ploy, for example, wanted to have a sign-up sheet, but wanted to allow people outside of Ploy to join it. I mean, how's this in Discord? They could already do that,
but in a kinship, probably not. The other thing, though, is how is it going to integrate with like our real life calendars, and like you want to check while you're at work to see if anything's been scheduled, like.
Well,
but you can't log into the game.
Nope, you're gonna have to bring your gaming machine to your work.
I like working there. And I'm pretty sure that goes against the terms of what I can do there. I mean, like, it explicitly says in our internet use policy that we are not using the internet for any sort of playing games.
Now, that does not mean that you can't bring your device and then do a hotspot from your cell phone on your lunch break.
I mean...
She had her entire class mining ore.
This seems unlikely to work very well in 30 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
Especially if there's like a patch.
It could be feasible.
I'm just saying... I can check Discord on my phone, and it syncs to my calendar.
Yeah, and I guess your argument of continued employment is a pretty solid one, frankly.
Right.
Just saying. I think it's a cool idea, and I'm interested to see what we can do with it.
Well, I wonder if they could do something equivalent to what they had with the chat channels that we could create, because... If you could create a calendar that you could just simply invite anybody to, that would be perfect, you know. But I wonder if this is I guess it would be on what they conceive kinships to be too, because it's maybe, well, we want you to be in a kinship, so we're not going to do that. You have to, you have to belong to the kin to join the kin's activities, which I'm hoping is the direction they don't want to go necessarily.
It doesn't seem like they're flexible. Likely.
Yeah, because the only
to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, one way around it is that they might be able to have a system where you could be not technically invited to the kin, but invited
like
as
an ally,
friend of the kin, as ally,
or you could literally have an alliance between two kinships.
Yes, either
and anybody of those two kins can participate in the calendar.
Yeah, can look at each other's calendars or something like that. That would
be cool.
Because I think that Ploy and Mythgard could have an alliance without too much trouble.
Without a doubt. And and then wouldn't that be with the spirit of the spirit of the universe as well that we're in? Is that there was once a great alliance of elves and men that defeated Sauron.
Yeah.
So
I know that in when we had the old servers, I'm talking about the ones that closed 10 years ago on Winfollow, we were part of a larger alliance. There was an alliance of I guess 20 or so kinships there that were in this really large alliance, so they could each
that would be so cool
see each other's and calendars and the like. So you could just imagine if that was supported in game.
That would be awesome.
I have a feeling, though, that even if something like that did come along, that's not slated for update 45.2.
Yeah, that feels like down the road type of stuff.
That might be a down the road enhancement, though.
But this could be like one step towards it, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. We are also working on a new use for embers. Embers gained through endgame content can now be used to purchase a new tracery upgrade scroll from the barter vendors, offering incomparable top level gear at locations throughout Middle Earth. The tracery upgrade scroll allows you to upgrade a tracery from any rarity to the next. The scroll will cost 7,500 embers and will need to be used within 24 hours of acquisition. In other words, no hoarding them.
I think for that price and that time frame, it should upgrade it from whatever it is to top tier.
Well, sorry.
I know, but seriously, that is a lot of embers.
Yes, but you got to remember is that most high-end players are probably filled with cyan once they're trying to get to legendary anyway. So,
well,
it might
okay.
not make much difference.
I feel like they're just trying their best to see how many more layers of annoyance they can add to the LI system and how many more things they can get us to max our currency at, so then we can go spend it all on one item for one character and then have to start all over on the grind.
Wait, Sans, you're telling me you didn't get the True Coat coating on your broadsword? Yeah, just come back. It's only $29.99.
And your wallet will only hold 30.
That's right.
So, if you earn 31, you're out of luck. You've got to earn exactly this amount. Come see us. Get this one thing for this one character. I mean, I think some people will probably use it and enjoy it. But, ugh.
Oh, well. In addition to the new tracery upgrade scroll, tomes of defense are available from the same barter vendors. The tomes will have a cost of 275 embers for a single tome and 10,000 for a set of 4. No, 1,000, not 10,000. 1,000 for a set of 4.
I was going to say, that's a really bad exchange rate.
Work on the expansion pack continues as well. We can confidently state that the expansion is slated to have 4 new zones, 10 new levels, a full instance cluster, a new raid, hundreds of new quests, missions, and deeds accompanying the next chapter of the Song of Waves and Wind for the Lord of the Rings Online. You will notice in the roadmap graphic that we are including some of the features that we expect to see in as part of the first release of 2026. These features are still 6 months out, but we feel confident enough about their inclusion that we are providing a small sneak peek. Without further delay, here is the update to the roadmap for 2025. So we have a column for Q3, Q4, and Q1 of 2026. So for Q3, we're expecting class updates for the Hunter and the Burglar. We've been talking about that already a bit for the Bulwer updates. A hobby update for birding being extended, plus a reward update. It looks like that it's going to be rewards of some nice drawings of birds, which is appropriate for a birding hobby. We also expect a Farmers Fair update. So what that update is, they haven't said much about that. I don't know whether this is going to be, new missions, new quests, new whoever knows what. And as for Monster Play, a reward track, new relics, new rewards for players and monster players, and new vendors at outposts, and of course at the bottom, and more. For Q4, for the expansion pack, we have a level cap increase to 160, new landscape for new zones, a new instance cluster, a new raid, hundreds of new quests and deeds, and dozens of new missions. Dozens of new missions. Okay, so that means we can expect at least 24 missions. And as for the first quarter of 2026, hobby upgrade, fishing will be updated, and a refresh of the featured instance system. So that's an interesting. The featured instance system will be updated. I wonder what that's going to be all about. I guess that's sort of a little bit of a tease saying, this is coming up. No details yet, but this is what's coming up.
While they're updating the featured instance things, they should just finish upgrading the drops that come from skirmishes at max level. I'm just saying, it might come from a similar loot table. They might just tweak both while they're at it. Please, SSG.
I will presume that you're talking about the normal skirmishes as opposed to Karis Galebrin, which...
Yeah, so we're getting some stuff that's actually on level for us when we're skirmishing.
Right.
And we're getting some stuff that is way below level. And it would be nice if it was all at least usefully on level.
Well, seeing that
even if it's not top tier.
Seeing how I was in a group that was doing some scrades yesterday, it would have been nice if we had equipment drop that was 150 instead of 105.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be top level. It can be just generic quest reward level or whatever.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if it's actually at level. That's
yes,
all.
I remember if Matham Armor dropped at your level is better than the skirmish gear, then there's something
There's
wrong.
a problem.
Yes.
A big problem in my opinion. But at least a small problem.
As the summer wanes and we start to bring the expansion into focus, we will deliver our last update of the 2025 campaign and continue sending information for our 2026 campaign. While we already know where the story will head, we will want to make certain that our efforts and continuing work continue to move at a pace we are moving. We hope that you enjoyed this update for the second half of the year. Be on the lookout for information on updates and to kinships, the expansion, a possible new housing zone, and a new monster play class throughout the summer, and certainly in the next letter to the players near the end of September. Until then, we thank you for your continued support and love. Now, saying about a new monster play class is that means then that even though they've already started testing the sorceress, that they're not expecting that for update 45, I guess.
It seems that they still need to do some back-end work from the conversations that they were having.
Okay, so it's
coming along, but they have to fix the system to actually let you create the character.
Well, yes, if I remember correctly, one of the problems that they had was that you're only allowed to have 6 monster characters, so that the only way to create such a character, even on Bulwer, was to delete one of your existing ones.
That was one of the big problems, and apparently it's causing some back-end headaches.
Okay.
I would guess there's some actual class tweaks going on too. But that seemed to be the big reason for delaying it further.
That also might be
from Orion. I might have misheard.
That might also be why the letter is a week later than we would have expected, in that they're trying to decide, okay, will we be able to release this as part of it or not? Because I don't think they wanted to make a big announcement. Incoming! And
then not be able to...
Yeah, and I think they wanted to decide, okay, will this be ready for update 45 or not? They came out, no.
Yeah.
So that is what we have up ahead. Class updates, hobby updates, monster play updates, an expansion pack in the fourth quarter, and maybe we could even have a little bit of a calendar update for kinships. So, anyone have anything else to comment about this, or have you said everything you need to as we went along?
I don't have additional comments at this time.
All right. Then let's head into our next section, which is the store sales. Cinders, what's on sale this week?
on sale this week. Still available for a limited time, the Loyal Knight Patrons Coffer. You can read more about it following the link in the show notes. It is available through July 13th. So by Monday, when this goes live, it will not be available when it's on LPN any longer. So if you're listening now, this is your chance to get it. You can also start a new journey and get 20% off of character slots, veteran status, stat packages, XP boosts through July 17th. The weekly coupon is for 1 free gray die with the coupon code GRAYWIZARD. Please make sure you're using the UK spelling of gray, not the US version, through July 17th.
All right. Thank you, Cinders. Now let's head into our week in gaming. Krister, what were you up to?
I am preparing to get back into Lord of the Rings. So anytime I'm preparing to do anything in my life, the first thing is to harass the people that are doing it with me, which I successfully accomplished last night. It was enjoyable to disrupt Sans, Cinders, and Finn as they were trying to have a nice quiet night. And lo and behold, the Krister storm blew in, but looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. Got a lot of work to do on my legendaries, but it's going to be good in the end. So other than that, this week I got, with my new machine I got 5070 graphics card. And so I've been loading some old games just to see what they look like with this card. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, but basically it's a large scale kind of combat sim.
So you started at level 10.
You can start at level 1,000,000 if you want to. You can have chickens fighting Terminators. Santa Claus can fight Peter Griffin. It's incredibly epic. But I had this one moment where I had this battle where there were probably about 3 million individuals involved in it. And it was like a World War II, so they're all armed. And it was a nighttime battle, and the tracer rounds flying off of it was just mesmerizing. And there's no pauses, no hesitating, no nothing. It is just absolutely smooth as water watching this stuff. So it was impressive, very impressive, and that's a really cool game. And then I saw kind of a new Minecrafty looking game, and now I can't remember the name of it. But it was like but the difference was, which I don't know how I feel about it, would be that it's an MMO. So it's like an MMO. Everybody's on a single world. I guess the world is gigantic, and then you can work with people or build your own stuff out there. And I guess it's like the crafting survival routine. But anyways, been thinking a lot about that. I love the building games. I've been wanting to get back into it. The other thing is too, I think the Minecraft RTS stuff is out by default now. When I first got the RTS, the ray tracing, it was you could only load particular maps. Like somebody had to have made a map with RTS to utilize it. And I think I showed you guys that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Didn't we do a screen share where I showed you I lit a tree on fire? And
Yep.
you're watching the glow and the way that the light's moving, and it's just like a whole new dimension with Minecraft.
He's
So
the bear's worst enemy.
Now, what would be interesting is with the RTS version, I don't know. I would imagine everybody had to have that same version. I couldn't play that RTS with players that aren't playing RTS. I think, but I'm not sure. But anyways. I'm loving, the first video game I ever played is my mom and dad had a Pong console game that we plugged into the black and white TV, and to see it go from gigantic 1-inch square pixels to looking ultra real. I mean, like Ark is another one that we've played together. Is the absolute depth and beauty of these games is amazing. So I'm pretty excited about it. I had a fun week just thinking about all these different games I'm going to try out with the video card, because I was like, okay, this is a lot of fun. So anyways, I had a really active week of creativity and little activity, I guess, probably would be the best way to put it. But Cinders, what were you up to?
Well, On Sunday, we failed epically at Dragon in the Storm, repeatedly with Ploy. I had my Guardian, and it took nearly a whole week for me to figure out why I was not able to get my interrupts off fast enough. And it turns out I didn't have the tracery that would let me have a 10-second cooldown instead of a 20-second cooldown. So that has now been fixed. Then, last night, I did Tier 1 Mach de Corbo with Ploy with my Lore Master Cinderina. And we didn't fail epically. We just didn't make it all the way to the end before people had to start leaving because it was getting really late. And then thankfully Nam stayed afterwards. Though, weren't we? Yeah, we made it to the last boss and we wiped, and then we decided that for the people who needed to go, they needed to go. And so we just kind of called it quits there. But Nam Felonius stuck around and answered questions and gave us advice, and he actually is the one who was like, you need this tracery. And I was like, oh, that makes a huge difference. And then I played some Stardew Valley with Pine Leaf, and we are inching ever closer to 100%ing that game. I'm at like 94% of all.
Oh, hold on. When you say 100%, are you talking about perfection, or are you talking about 100% the achievements?
I was talking about perfection.
Oh, okay, fine. Because when
we inch ever closer to here, I'll fix it to say perfection. How's that?
Yeah, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the community uses the term 100% for going well beyond perfection, and that requires you to win Journey of the Prairie King without ever getting killed during the process.
That's not going to happen. I can't even tell which character is mine on Journey of the Prairie King. Yes. Yeah, we are inching ever closer to perfection. I think I'm at 94% of all items shipped, something like that. I only have like 7 items left to ship. Pine Leaf has caught all the fish. Yeah. I've almost cooked or crafted all of the different ones. Cooking and crafting recipes. So we're getting there. It's just a bit of a process, and we're still trying to find a dinosaur egg and an ostrich egg.
Well, in order to get perfection, you're going to have to kill at least 50 Pepper Rexes, and there's no way you're going to kill 50 Pepper Rexes without getting several dinosaur eggs in the process.
Yeah, and we're also waiting for, a galaxy sword. And I got super close to being able to go get the kitty sword, and discovered I wasn't good enough friends with the wizard. So now I have to be nice to the wizard so I can go down to his basement and open a portal to another dimension to get the kitty sword.
Well, another thing you had to do with perfection is of course being friends with everybody. So
yeah, so I'm working on it. He's just a little out of the way and around the corner, and he likes
over
weird
the river
stuff.
through the woods.
Yeah, he likes strange things too. Linus is nice. Linus, you just give him food, and he's like, "I love you. You're the best." But that was my week in gaming. Sans, how was yours?
My week was pretty good. Entered Felgoth with a field trip and made it to level 115 this week. And that's what? A 9-year journey? 8-year journey? Something like that. So that was pretty cool. Of course, we haven't played super consistently. Sorry, guys. And I went raiding with Sans Winda on Peregrine with Ploy. And it was fun. But also, we're told that maybe we shouldn't have like 6 hunters in the raid. So I started working on getting other alts ready for tier 1 raiding. Fortunately, I'm only trying to get them ready for tier 1 raiding. However, the ancient script barriers are really irritating for classes needing multiple sets of LIs. Like, I can't just make a healing set of LIs for my mini and then go, like, run around on landscape and do all the quests successfully. I don't think. I guess I could try it. I mean, with the costs for the decent stuff, it's really annoying. Like, Yeah. Like the level, the cap that they put on the ancient script, and like the quantities that you can acquire right now make it hard. I have some alts who can still like go through and get stuff off of their old allies, which I could do again now that I'm low on ancient script. But also, like, this is just going to be a problem again because they're increasing the level cap. And so I'm annoyed. And I think I'm going to have to just pick like one class and work on that, and then pick another class and work on that. And yeah, so we'll see. It's really hard to pick just one. That's the reason that if I actually finish transferring all my characters, I will have like maxed character slots on more than one server, probably. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to go raiding with Play, and it was fun to go do some of the stuff to earn some embers and other things that can help my characters. So that was nice. And I had a fabulous adventure in Ark Survival Ascended this week. I played some with Cinders, but then like she had to go do real life stuff. And so I started my own world. And I wasn't going to tame anything in the starter area. I was going to get to Herbivore Island and then like go crazy. But there was a moss chops just wandering around, and it wanted tinto berries, and that was easy because I had some in my pockets. So, and I needed more berries because I kept getting hungry and starving. So I tamed the moss chops and harvested a lot of berries and ate my fill of berries, and then built us a thatched shelter, and then upgraded it to wood, and then finally found a corpse of Delo that had aggroed probably a trike, judging from what was in the vicinity of where I found its body, and got enough stuff from that to make my first hunting stuff, and then used my first hunting stuff to get enough hide to make a raft, and like built the raft up with stone stuff so that like nothing was going to destroy it, and stuck the moss chops on it and started for Herbivore Island with my moss chops, feeling very proud of myself. And I got most of the way to Herbivore Island, and I thought to myself, you know, it's a really good thing I installed that mod that makes the Lead Sixthus friendly, because this would just be horrible if a Lead Sixthus came out of nowhere and like ruined all my hard work here. Oh well, I guess if one does, like, I have everything in the inventory of the moss chops. Hopefully it'll have enough health we can get to land. So I just kind of stayed close to land and kept going. Got to the point where I have to like cross open water to actually get to Herbivore Island. Started across, was like breathing deep, trying to look for Lead Sixthus, but trying to not worry about it. And all of a sudden, the whole raft like just shook. And damage numbers went wild, and it shook again as this giant Lead Sixthus whale thing smashed right through the middle of my beautifully built raft, completely destroying it. And as I was thinking, I was like, oh no, I'm dying. Wait, I can swim. And I swam up and caught the moss chops and rode the moss chops to Herbivore Island because we were close, and managed to avoid the stingrays that were in the water, and then realized I wasn't even on the main part of Herbivore Island, and it was just the moss chops and I there, and it was kind of funny. So then I made it all the way to Herbivore Island, and I could probably come up with a way to get off besides death porting, but for the moment I'm somewhat stranded on Herbivore Island without my lovely raft. So that was pretty much my week in gaming. How was your week, Pineleaf?
All right, I'll begin with my lore master, who joined the Riders of Rohan as they charged at the Pelennor field. So, finally reached that stage of the storyline. And my guardian finished up in the Elder Slade set of missions, which is just the largest set of missions that we've got in there. And I I think that is the last set of missions I need to do on this character to have done all of the non-special event missions in there. And I'm making pretty good progress. I think I'm in the mid-90s now on my Guardian, so that's nice. I'm trying to see how close I can get to the level cap by the end of the year on this character without resorting to something crazy like a Valar. And in Stardew Valley, in addition to what I did with Cinders, in my single player world, I put a dent into my list of recipes I needed to do. I think I have just like 3 or 4 crafting recipes left and maybe a half a dozen cooking recipes left before I'm going to be done with those 2 sets. That'll be good when those are finally all finished up in there. In fact, found out that there was just one more cooking recipe I don't have yet. And when I found out where it's given, I was like, oh no. It's being sold by Gus on Ginger Island, which means I have to wait till Gus goes to Ginger Island before I can get it. So that's going to be a while before I get that one in there. But seeing how I have some other things I still need to do, I suppose he should go there at least once before then. Because the big item that I have left really that's going to really slow me down on it is I do have to finish up my Slayer deed list. I've got 3 Slayer deeds left, and they're all in the Skull Caverns. I've been reluctant to go into the Skull Caverns too much because I find it very, very annoying to fight mummies. But just earlier today, a couple hours ago, I finally got my hands onto a Crusader weapon. I have the mini forge so I could do some enchanting in there, and I enchanted a hammer in there. I'm not exactly great at using hammers. I usually prefer to use swords. But if I'm going against mummies, then I am going to make sure that even if my primary weapon I have with me is a sword, that I am going to also bring that hammer so that I could just bash those mummies and not have to worry about setting off a bomb every time I wanted to kill the mummies. And we'll see how that works. What?
That'd be a pretty fun way to kill the mummies, though. With a bomb.
Well, actually, that's the only way you can without a Crusader weapon. Is you have to knock them out, set up a bomb, and blow up the mummy when it's unconscious.
That's incredibly annoying sounding.
It is.
And you have to not blow yourself up with the bomb in the process.
Of course. Oh, my goodness.
Usually I go to the Skull Caverns on days when I have the unaffected by bombs buff. Since I built that, whatever that shrine is that enables you to take a buff a day. And so whenever they offer the one that you're unaffected by bombs, I take that one all the time.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, because
I haven't built that yet, so I need to get on that.
Yeah, okay. You haven't maxed out your skills yet?
I am. Okay, so the one game I did max out my skills, but I can't remember which save it was.
Oh.
So, on the save that I'm working on, I have everything at 10, except combat is still stuck at 9, and I keep going into the mines and killing everything. And one of these days it's going to pop up.
All right, because once you do
and
that...
And then I can actually, finish maxing them.
All right, because once you do that, then you have to go to the cave to start studying the masteries.
Which will be nice.
Yeah.
I think.
And I believe the thing that allows you to potentially be immune to bombs, I believe that is in the mining mastery.
Perfect.
So if you're thinking of doing... It's always trying to fun decision, trying to decide, okay, which mastery do I need more in this world? Do I the thing that improves my mining ability?
All of them all at once, clearly.
Unfortunately.
And it's not an option.
Yeah, I know that's not. You have to take them one at a time, and And of course, each mastery takes longer than the previous one in order to do it. So yeah, decide which one is the one that's most important. I know. I think my first world, I took the fishing one first because I wanted that
You go
deluxe
most
iridium.
important or like hardest to actually max? Or does it matter which one you're using to max mastery after you get all of them leveled?
Once you hit the mastery level, once you have all 5 of them, the mastery points are all in one pool. So
So everything you do goes towards it?
Everything you do goes towards it. Which
yes.
means if for example, let's say you get a book for farming right now, what you're going to do with that book until you get your combat max. I think you said that your combat is the one that you still need to max.
Yeah.
Is that until you get to your farming your combat up to 10, then you're not going to get anything by reading the farming book. But if you put the farming book aside and then when you hit 10 in all of them,
then use it.
You could read that farming book and it'll go to your mastery points. So
the farming books I've been stashing and the other ones are all going to actually have a purpose.
They're going to have a purpose as soon as you have 10 and everything. Then you go read those farming books. That'll be so if we're talking about the Stardew Valley Almanac, for example, that's 250 points to that. So you can imagine if you have a dozen of those, that's 3,000.
Well, I don't have a dozen yet, but I've got like 4 books that I can read of various skills that are already maxed.
I believe the first target is 1,000.
Nice.
So 4 Stardew Valley Almanac should get you up to 1,000. So you just decide, all right, would you rather have the super deluxe fishing pole that allows you to have 2 bobbers, or would you like to have things like this mining buffs? Select from 1 to 2 mining buffs a day, one of which might be, if you're lucky on the roll, the one that makes you immune to bombs. Though some people might prefer the ones like the one that gets you extra coal or extra ore or something like that, because those are other options. Or would you like the anvil that allows you to do enchantment at the comfort of your own home, so you don't have to go to the caldera every time you want to enchant a weapon?
Oh.
Yeah. I find that very handy because I've only made it to that caldera once.
Fair.
So having that home anvil is really, really nice. And
eventually you can earn all of them?
Yeah, you can eventually earn all of them.
Sweet.
And I try to think for farming. What is the one that's for? I forgot what the one for farming.
You get a cool scythe, don't you, that can harvest anything?
Oh yeah, you're right. That iridium scythe. Oh, that iridium scythe is really nice. Yes. So yeah, they all have something really, really nice that's attached to them. Each of the 5, and that's right. And for foraging, it's the mystic syrup.
Cool.
So each of them has something really, really nice that goes with them. And that's my week in gaming. If you have any comments on what we said this week, you could send an email to podcast@lotrplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a LOTRO Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You guys choice for our shows at lotrplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Pilot Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.